Prior to the 2024 season, Derek Carr strung together 6 straight seasons with over 3,500 passing yards, was named a Pro Bowler just 2 seasons ago, and was third in MVP votes in 2016, which is why everyone was shocked when he announced his retirement in the middle of May after just one down season. Sure, his time in New Orleans was less than stellar, but it still seemed like he had some gas left in the tank for his age 34 season, but Carr didn't think so. A string of unfortunate events led to Derek Carr's surprising retirement, and we must look back at where it all began to understand how it all happened. Derek Carr entered the NFL in 2014 as a second-round pick by the then Oakland Raiders. Coming out of Fresno State alongside Davante Adams, he was known for his strong arm, quick release, and fiery competitiveness. And with Davante Adams' help, they completely turned around Fresno State's program. But from day one in the NFL, the odds were stacked against him. He was thrown into a dysfunctional organization with no true direction in Oakland. His rookie season started 0-4, leading to the firing of head coach Dennis Allen. Carr finished with just 3 wins, a career-low completion percentage, and a team that was nowhere near competitive. However, the organization still trusted Carr as their QB for next year, and that trust paid off in spades. The following season, he threw 4,000 yards, 32 touchdown passes, and made his first Pro Bowl appearance in just his sophomore season. So you would think this led to a playoff appearance, right? Wrong. They had the worst ranked defense for the second season in a row, giving up over 30 points in 6 separate games, leading to a 7-9 record. 2016, however, came with high expectations, at least to the Raiders. Carr was making tons of progress across his first couple seasons, and the signings of Bruce Irvin and Sean Smith bolstered this terrible defense. But would Derek Carr and the Raiders live up to their lofty expectations? The answer? Absolutely. In just 15 games, Carr threw another 4,000 yards, an astounding 28-6 touchdown interception ratio, and led the league in game-winning drives with 7. Entering Week 15, everything seemed perfect. They had an 11-3 record and their eyes set on the division title, until disaster struck.
What's up? It's broke! It's broke! It's broke! It's broke! It's broke!
This injury ended Carr's season, and effectively the Raiders too. They would finish 12-4, but lose in the wild card round to the Texans, ending the season on a whimper and their star MVP vote receiving QB injured. After Carr's 2016 injury, the hope was that he and the Raiders would pick up exactly where they left off. He signed a massive $125 million extension, at the time the richest contract in NFL history. The belief was clear. Carr was supposed to be the future for Oakland. However, in 2017, things started unraveling. Carr was clearly not 100% physically or mentally after the injury. However, the season started perfect, with a 10-point win against Tennessee and a blowout win against the Jets, but they went on to lose 4 straight and spiraled into a disappointing 6-10 finish. To make matters worse, Carr suffered a back injury mid-season, starting the trend of injury problems for Derek Carr that would never really leave him. Carr played through it though, showing his toughness he boasted in college, but the offense just never clicked. This down season led to the firing of Jack Del Rio, and this meant Carr would be on his 3rd head coach in just 4 seasons. Now who would that replacement be?
I don't have a disco in here. I don't have a disco. Well, let's all start dancing.
Yes, enter John Gruden. They handed Gruden a 10-year, $100 million contract to help revive the franchise. Now entering 2018, the Raiders' expectations were low, so immediate success wasn't expected. So what was Gruden's first order of business? Trade away Khalil Mack, the best player on the team and the reigning defensive player of the year. Now the Raiders defense has been terrible the entirety of Derek Carr's career, but with their centerpiece now gone, they were officially the worst in the league again. And to make matters worse for Carr, that same year, wide receiver Amari Cooper was also traded. Just like that, Carr lost his wide receiver 1 and the team's defensive anchor for draft picks. It was supposed to be a rebuild, but for Carr, it was just more instability. He still balled out, with another 4,000 passing yards and a 69% completion percentage. Pretty nice, but the roster was stripped down, the defense remained one of the league's worst, and the Raiders finished 4-12, another losing season. 2019 was more of the same. Another great year from Carr, eclipsing the 4,000-yard mark again and boasting a career-high 70 completion percentage. They even started 6-4, but would finish the season on a 1-5 skid, leading to yet another losing season, mainly due to a bottom 5 defense, as if I haven't said that enough. By 2020, Carr was entering his third season under John Gruden, and while the team still wasn't stacked with talent, the offense started to find a rhythm. Carr threw for over 4,000 yards with 27 touchdowns and just 9 interceptions, one of the most efficient seasons of his career. But yet again, the defense let him down. The Raiders allowed over 30 points 8 games that season and collapsed down the stretch, losing 5 of their last 7, finishing 8-8, and missed the playoffs again. Another brilliant season from Carr, completely wasted. But 2021 finally brought a glimmer of hope. Despite John Gruden's midseason resignation due to off-the-field controversy, Derek Carr still managed to hold the Raiders together. He led them to a 10-7 record and his highest yardage total yet with over 4,800 passing yards. He also orchestrated multiple clutch, game-winning drives down the stretch, which he built a reputation for. And just like that, the Raiders made the playoffs for the first time since Carr's injury-shortened 2016 season. However, they would lose in the wild card round again to the Bengals, who would go on to the Super Bowl. But Carr still carried a broken franchise without a head coach to the postseason through sheer will. Many believe that this could be a turning point, with new head coach Josh McDaniels. In 2022, the Raiders made a splash, trading for Davante Adams, Carr's former college teammate, and one of the best wide receivers in the league. On paper, it looked like this was the year. Josh McDaniels was supposed to modernize this offense and maximize Carr's potential, but instead of a breakout, it was a breakdown. Despite Carr putting up decent numbers, over 3,500 passing yards and 24 touchdowns, like all quarterbacks before him, he never seemed to gel with McDaniels' system. The offensive line struggled, and the defense was yet again near bottom of the league, and Carr's accuracy dipped. He threw 14 interceptions and was benched for the final 2 games of the season. It felt like a betrayal after everything he endured for the franchise. Him getting benched before the season even ended was the Raiders' way of waving goodbye to him, and just like that, he was entering free agency. In 2023, Carr signed with the New Orleans Saints. A fresh start, a new chapter, and the NFC South was wide open. With weapons like Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, and finally a solid defense, the hope was that Carr could lead the Saints back to playoff contention. Instead, the season was rocky. Carr battled multiple injuries, including a shoulder and a back injury, and the offense was inconsistent. He finished with just under 3,600 passing yards, along with 21 touchdowns. But the Saints' red zone struggles, coupled with internal drama and tension between Carr and the coaching staff, led to another disappointing 9-8 finish, missing the playoffs yet again. Then came 2024, Carr's final season. With the Saints retooling the offense and doubling down on Carr, the hope was that better chemistry and a healthier roster, Carr could bounce back. He didn't. Carr and the Saints started 5-5, but in Week 14, he hurt his shoulder badly, ending his season. And unbeknownst to Saints fans, his career too, as that would be his final snap he would ever play. All that arm talent he relied on was essentially gone due to age and injury. At age 34, after a decade of playing the hero in dysfunctional systems, enduring injuries, coaching changes, and endless resets, Carr simply didn't have it in him anymore. So on May 10th, 2025, Derek Carr announced his retirement from the NFL. After 11 seasons, over 40,000 passing yards, 220 touchdowns, and 4 Pro Bowl selections, Carr had nothing left to prove. He retires as one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks of his era, a player who never had a top-tier defense, a consistent coaching staff, or a true Super Bowl window, yet he fought every year like he did. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you don't mind, like and subscribe. That was the rundown.